We are here at Deerfoot Memorial Funeral Home, and with me is Funeral Director Kari Minyard. And thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with us about what you do to serve families here.
Absolutely.
First of all, let's talk a little bit about history as far as Deerfoot Memorial and how you have been serving families for many years.
Yes, so this facility was built and opened December of 2015. So we've been here a little over 10 years, and I feel like we've really become a good part of this community. We're not really down in deep downtown Trussville, but it's really become more of a family tradition to use Deerfoot. You know, when you first start opening, people are, I don't know if you want to use them, but you become word of mouth, and people, they trust you. They build that trust, you build those relationships, and that's really what's gotten us to this point. Because we have those relationships in different churches and different communities, not just in Trussville, but even the surrounding communities.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sure that as far as you serve families really in central Alabama, right?
Yes, and we've actually had families from, Gadsden and Gunnersville, and it just depends on the family. Say we serve their family with their grandparents, and then maybe their parents passed, they're out of the North Alabama, they still want to come and use us, and that's a good feeling that we've got that relationship with them.
Absolutely. Well, talk a little bit about pre-planning. How have you seen that impact families that you serve?
When someone pre-arranges and you go and meet with their family and they're making their scheduling their appointment and everything, they sit down, you open that file, and you can show them what their loved one picked. They don't have that stress of going, I don't know what she liked, I don't know his favorite color, I don't know if she would have liked roses instead of birds. It's all there for them. So they don't have that stress of having to pick that out and feeling like it was wrong. And they also don't have the financial stress and obligation, because that makes a big difference too. When someone pre-plans, they pay for it at that time. They don't have to pay, whatever today's price is. So that makes a big difference too. It makes it much easier on the family.
Absolutely. And talk a little bit about the different services that you offer. I know you can have a service here. You also offer cremation, right?
And we have traditional burial, which we can do at any facility, church here. We've even had a couple at a senior citizen center. Maybe not from Deerfoot, but some of our locations. So it just depends on the facility and what the family wants. And even with cremation, you can still do a traditional service. You can still have a visitation. And then instead of going to the cemetery, you do the cremation. You can do a memorial service instead of doing a traditional service. And then we have just direct cremation. The family can do a service maybe at their church or something later on. So there's so many options now, where used to is, one way or the other, and that was it. So that's really come a long way too.
As a funeral director, share a little bit about how you specifically work with families.
So I do anything from taking the first call, meeting with the families, walking them through our facility, even with pre-need. I take care of pre-planning with families too, and I do the preparation and the embalming, the restorative art. That's a very new process to me. Trying to help give that family that closure and seeing their loved one in a better way than what they last saw them. So I get to do all of that. It's loving on a family even with their loved one versus being right there next to them. But I mean, everybody has my cell phone number. I tell people, don't give out your cell phone numbers, but you develop these relationships again, and they know I can pick the phone up at 2 a.m. and call Kari and say, hey, I'm confused about this for tomorrow. And they know we're there for them. But yeah, I love all my families, probably too much, but I do. I really appreciate this job and appreciate the families, because without them, we wouldn't have a job.
That's right.
So,
but yeah. Well, and how does your faith impact how you serve those families?
I couldn't do this job without God. So He put me in this position. I was going to be a nurse. So this came kind of out of nowhere, but He directed that path like He says He does. He's going to. And I don't believe He would put me here without giving me the tools to take care of our families. One of the things that I do is I pray for my families. Used to, I would pray for the first service right before the family would get there. I've tried to stop doing that because sometimes people just come in the chapel and then they're looking at you like, what are you doing? but I do pray for my families.
Yeah.
And another way of being able to take care of them, the best thing you can do for them is pray for them. So I think diligently staying prayed up is one thing. We were talking about another apprentice of ours, Brandy. We were talking about that yesterday. Just staying prayed up is what gets us through this job. Because we have a lot of people that will say, I don't know how you do this job. I really don't either. But God gives us the ability to do it. And He's put this in our path. And we just have to trust in Him. Because it's really all you can do.
Yeah. Well, and really, you are on the front line as far as being with families at probably the most difficult time in their life.
Right.
When that loss comes. Now, as far as the pre-planning goes, if somebody's like, I really want to get these things done and taken care of, what are the steps to take to do that, and what kind of time is it going to take? I guess.
First step would be just to call.
Okay.
Make that decision with your family, your spouse, and say, look, I want to get this done. Most of the time people say, I want to do this so my kids don't have to. That is what I hear more than anything. And they want to do that so that their kids don't have to, again, make those choices and have that financial burden. If they want to do that, all they have to do is give us a call and set up an appointment. And we'll ask them, what day and time's best for them.
Yeah.
Now with pre-planning, we do put what we call our at-need families first. If a family decides they want to do a service at the same time their appointment is, we do have to, accommodate them.
Sure.
And most people are understanding about that. So I don't think I've run into anyone who's not yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just give us a call. They're not obligated to buy anything when they come in. So they can come in, get some pricing, look around the facility, look at the caskets or vaults and urns, and go home, think about it, make the decision that's best for them. We write it up, and that locks their price in. So maybe 10, 12 years from now, at the time of passing, their family doesn't have to pay a difference. It's locked in with that. So it makes
really
a big
nice.
difference.
Well, and I noticed, like, on your website, you've got some resources there too. So frequently asked questions, things like that
Yes.
people can go and check out. Is that right?
That's right. We have like the pre-planning checklist.
Okay.
Families can go on there, click on that, and they can kind of pre-fill out some of their information. Now it doesn't go out into the website, but it does get emailed to us. So we have that information. Now we don't put it in a file or anything. But if they call and say, hey, I did the checklist, we pull it, set up an appointment with them, and go from there.
Excellent.
There's an option on there that says, do I want to be contacted? And most of them say no. But if they say yes, we reach out to them. But they can call us, they can go on the website and send an inquiry, or they can also go on we have aftercare programs just to kind of guide people after the service. Because it's almost like a lull after the service of what do we do now. So we try to guide families, but we also have resources for that too.
That's really great. Okay, so if people want to learn more, the best way to reach you is?
Yeah, just give us a call.
Yeah, okay.
That's
great.
the best way to do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes,
Appreciate you taking
ma'am.
the time.
Thank you.